It's Here First from IPR. I'm Megan McKinney. Marco Battaglia says he's going to keep trying to get back on the ballot as he runs for Congress as a Libertarian. And Zach Lahn, the Republican candidate for governor, shares his thoughts on public education. It's Monday, August 3rd. A Libertarian running for Congress says he plans to appeal a judge's decision to keep him off the ballot. IPR's Isabella Liu has more on Marco Battaglia trying to run in Iowa's 3rd congressional district.
A Polk County judge upheld the decision of a state objection panel from last month. The panel removed Battaglia from the ballot for not using his legal name, Mark T. Anderson, on all campaign forms. The candidate has said he goes by the name Marco Battaglia frequently in his public life. Battaglia says he's not surprised by the judge's decision, but believes his case is stronger than when he was removed from the ballot in 2024.
I think that there's at least a much better chance than last time. Basically, to use a poker analogy, I got the royal flush this time, I think.
The judge also upheld the panel's decision to keep Libertarian Rick Stewart on the ballot. Stewart is running in Iowa's 2nd congressional district. I'm Isabella Liu, IPR News.
Republican Zach Lahn says if he's elected governor, he will push to offer public schools innovation waivers from things like mandatory testing or some high school graduation requirements so schools create a portfolio of experiences that fit each student. Lahn made his comments during a weekend campaign appearance in Osage after someone in the crowd asked him about using public money for private schools.
The answer to a declining public school system that's been declining for decades, it has, is not to eliminate the competition. On the other part of the equation is that what's the role of the governor in this? My role is to be the number one advocate for public school kids in the state, to use the experience that I've had in education and experience out there to unburden superintendents and teachers to create more innovative models that'll better meet the needs of students.
Lahn is the co-founder of a private school in Kansas that opened in 2018. He has described it as learner-driven, where doing is more important than memorizing, and students make progress at their own pace rather than being grouped into grade levels. Instructors are called guides and coaches rather than teachers. Critics of the school say it's geared toward highly motivated, upward-bound students and doesn't fit the public school model of serving all students. The first day of school in most Iowa districts is just 3 weeks away, and the Iowa Department of Education has recently issued guidelines outlining how Iowa educators may discipline students who are disruptive or violent. Iowa schools must have written policies outlining when students can be kicked out of a classroom and under what circumstances they may return. The teacher and their principal must have a meeting about each student's removal, and a teacher may refuse to let the student back into their classroom. Representative Skylar Wheeler of Hull, chairman of the Education Committee in the Iowa House, worked on the legislation.
I think we've gone about as far as we can go of trying to draw a very clear line between protecting the teacher, ensuring the student is getting the best education they can, making sure all the other students in the classroom are getting the best education they can, and continuing to make sure that administrators and everybody else is involved.
The new law ensures teachers get at least 3 days of paid leave if they're physically injured by a student. It also makes it mandatory for teachers to read updates to the individual education plans developed for any student they're teaching. Public health officials are still investigating how a parasite called cyclospora spread through human feces and ended up in the U.S. food supply. Thousands of people across the country, including over 200 in Iowa, have gotten sick from the parasite, which causes frequent diarrhea. Although the parasite is rare in the U.S., contaminated water used to irrigate fields has been a culprit of past outbreaks. Kristen Gibson, director of the University of Arkansas Center for Food Safety, says food is never 100% safe.
And I know people don't want to hear that, but we eat food all the time and we do not get sick. And these types of failures happen, and the best thing you can do is try to gather as much information as we possibly can to be sure that we either put new measures or preventive controls in place so it doesn't happen again.
Food safety experts say to clear out recalled foods, but they stress not all produce is contaminated. You're listening to Here First from IPR. I'm Megan McKinney. How was your weekend? I hope it was fun. I had a good weekend. I was in Ames on Saturday. IPR was at the farmers market, and that was awesome to see. Ames is such a great community. I hope you have a great Monday. Thanks for listening.